Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Thursday, December the 23rd. The year's 2021. Let's talk trading. Keeping it simple, time. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Time, not to be confused with timing. Why? How do we keep it simple with time? Well, for example, do you trade the same time every day? Because if you trade, say, at 6 a.m. one day, and maybe you trade at 11 a.m. the next day and 2 p.m. the day after, price, the instrument that you trade, chances are it's going to react a whole lot differently. So, one of the simple things to do is always make sure you're trading the same time, whether it's a morning session, afternoon session, evening session, because if you always trade at the same time, you're going to get a feel for what price is going to do during that time. So if you're trading when news releases come out, you know there's going to be a lot of volatility. If you're trading when the markets are quiet, then you know the moves might be more, they might move more slowly, and they might be more methodical. For example, trading the dollar yen in the Asian session, the yen just seems to move very methodically. It's not until the London boys and girls and non binary traders start to wake up and get into the action that things begin to get slightly erratic. So just make a note of that, because what could happen is you might find yourself with some free time on your hands, and you might want to jump in and say, hey, I can, jump on the computer and make a few dollars real quick, only to find yourself winding up taking some losses, and you not understanding why, because when you usually do it during your usual time, it works out for you. So once again, in keeping it simple, just make sure you keep track of the time that you trade. Let's go through the charts. We've got a green month right now. Past this week's been pretty good for the pound. All the gaps have filled across the pairs. You can see that the pound is 196 pips above its weekly open, and 260 pips above the weekly low. So you green rats are feasting. Now, this is very interesting. You can see 2 days ago, Tuesday, we broke out of the opening range for the week. And yesterday, and then again today, we've actually broken out of the opening range for the month. So keep in mind that, price needs the range. And what I mean by that is statistically, it needs to go, so many pips between high and low. That's just the way price is. And we're now 208 pips below that yearly open, 138, 139 above the monthly open, 197 above the weekly open, and 86 above the daily open. So once again, these horizontal lines that are once drawn never move. Prove to be profitable if you can trade them. Really interesting. Yesterday we broke out of the inside bar that happened 8 days ago. Let me expand this chart just a tad. And we are now in the weekly inside bar that happened 5 weeks ago, and we're just slightly above the monthly inside bar that happened 2 months ago. So there's some prices here. This 134.33. You might want to look to short at that level if you've got confirmation and candle colors and other things. Right now we're looking at daily, but maybe if you looked at the 1 hour, you might be able to grab a short there. On the daily, the pound right now 98 pips, but we've got, looks like 7 pairs over 100 pips, and for some reason the pound dollar is lagging across the pound pairs, with the exception of the euro pound. You know, some people like trading the euro pound. I never have. I've traded it, but just didn't really like the way it moved. Buy zone traders were rewarded once again. In fact, I was had a Zoom chat with a trader last night, and he was asking about, you know, how I trade the range, and I was mentioning how, you know, price has to range away from the open. And you can see here, it moved down into the sell zone. So if you took your long there, you got your fingers burned. If you took a long here, you had to wait. If you took a long here, you didn't have to wait, and you were paid nicely. Red rats, get ready to feast. Once again, how I use range. Once the range is large enough, I start looking for reversals off of those highs. So looking for rat reversals in this area. Or high. You can do 1, 2, 3s. You can do holos. You can do highest, low. You can do a lot of those different trade triggers up here. It doesn't matter. It's just that you want to trade when you're in the zone. And let's see, it called for near R1 by a short. Once again, the pivot trading plan seems to be about a coin toss. But look what happened. We finally hit the monthly pivot. And we also hit the weekly pivot. Actually, we hit the weekly pivot, I believe, yesterday. We actually hit weekly R1. Though we missed today's pivot, so now we've got a missed pivot in the month of December. Looks like price is trying to take out a pivot from last month here at the 34.52.8 level. On the weekly, we took out that, but we have a missed pivot here at the 34.50 level. And monthly, looks like we took that out today. So no missed month periods since no missed monthly pivots points since 2014. In and out of the upper wick zone. Nice break across the previous day's high here. Looking at the higher low, lower high scalper, you can see right there we had a highest low. Price has dropped since then. And you can see here on some of these, price was still just moving up. It didn't really come down hard. So sometimes you have to be careful. Well, actually, all the times you have to be careful. But if you look here, you can see price just moved, stopped, failed to move down. So you probably would have had to scratch that trade And then on this one, you can see price broke through but reversed. So you might have had to scratch or take a stop loss, or possibly wait, average in, and you can see here price finally returned. But this is looking at the M1. If you shift over time frames, you can look at the M5. You can see here pretty much here on the highest low, the M5 highest low, you would have just triggered in right now, as opposed to the M1 highest low. The wall mall lines had a trigger at 34.10. As you can see, that one paid off. Previous hour also paid off across the 3400 level. Once again, nice ranges on the H1 bars. There's a couple under 20. But it looks like the past few hours, the wall mall trades definitely paid off. Once again, looking here, we have the spread dots. You can see this on this last move, 4.7 to the downside. Very little buying pressure. You can just see here how the red numbers are much bigger than the green numbers, so you can see who's kind of winning that battle. Also, the ATR ranges. In this particular case, I'm using the ATR lines, HL for high or low. So when the price puts in a new high, this zone will move up. And if it puts in a new low, this zone will move down, because what we're looking at is taking the ATRs, in this case, from the high of the day. This is the minimum ATR, which is ATR 14, and the maximum was ATR 2 out of the all the ATRs from 2 through 14. We paint the zone, and then from the current daily low right here, we move up daily low plus the ATR min, which is 14, plus the ATR max, which is ATR 2, and then we get a zone. And as you can see, price has reversed out of that zone. And if I remember correctly, yesterday we actually went past the ATR zone before coming back. And if you have the idiot mode on, it's telling you, wait, don't be an idiot. You want to take the trade in the ATR zone. And in the open, in the ATR zone, you can see we had a holo trade highest open here, triggered at 34.32.6. And the current price is 19, so that was about a 14 pip move according to the indicator here. So once again, simple trades. And these, a holo trade is a dynamic trade, just like these ATRs are also dynamic, meaning when something changes, get a new high or low or lower high, that changes. Or if we move up a new daily low or daily high, current daily, then the location of these ranges will change. So, fellow traders, time. It's really important that you be consistent when you trade, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.